5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, Mr. Cooper, for your patience and also your answers that you've provided the panel today. You alerted folks to possible breach attempts and were concerned, obviously, about the security, as we've heard in your testimony today. In January 2013, according to the FBI reports, a Tor user logged in to a staffer of President Clinton's account on the Pagliano server and browsed email and folders of that person's account. Were you aware of that breach? That's a little different than what was just stated to Mr. Walker.
I was not aware of that breach, so I read it in the same account where you have read it.
Did it cause you concern? Or?
Once I read it?
Sure.
Sure.
In the spring of 2013, which would have been proximate to this same thing, according to the FBI, Sidney Blumenthal's AOL account was hacked by Guccifer, and Mrs. Clinton's email exchange with Mr. Blumenthal was made public. Were you aware of that breach?
I was aware of that.
What was your response to these breaches?
At that point in time, I was transitioning out of any role or responsibility with the server as the various teams were selecting, was ultimately Platte River Network to take over the email services. And I don't know that I had any sort of direct response.
Did you believe that there was sensitive information? Certainly, it would qualify as very private, being the position that Mrs. Clinton held.
Certainly private information, concerned that you would have naturally concerned that that information was properly backed up and secured.
And the FBI reported finding email marked secret on the PRN server, and you assisted with the transfer of data to the PRN server. Were you aware of secret or sensitive emails on the servers you worked on?
I did not actually assist in the transfer to the PRN servers, and nor was I.
Even with the missing laptop, which you didn't lose, but apparently it got lost after PRN received it?
Yeah, I have no knowledge of that.
But you did have knowledge of providing a laptop to do the transfer?
Provided a laptop instruction on how to download emails, yes.
Now, Mr. Cooper, you conveyed to, I believe it was Mr. Meadows, and we appreciate the insight you've given us, that Huma Abedin assisted in arrangements on the use of the private server when all of this was being set up. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you create, or did Huma Abedin or Cheryl Mills or Jacob Sullivan have a user account on the private server?
Huma Abedin had an account.
Huma Abedin did have an account. And Mr. Cooper, are you aware that in the FBI report, it states on page 10 that Mrs. Clinton's immediate aides, to include Huma Abedin, Cheryl Mills, and Jacob Sullivan, told the FBI that they had no knowledge of the existence of a private server until after Mrs. Clinton's tenure at State? But that would have not been true, would it?
I can't speculate on what their comments were.
Well, I know you can't speculate on what their comments were, but you just stated that Miss Abedin knew of the server, she had an account on the server, so how is it possible that she could not have known about a server while Mrs. Clinton was at State?
I can't speak to her recollection of when she knew, but she was, I can tell you.
But that would be contrary to the facts, wouldn't it?
I can just tell you that I know that she had an account on the server and she was aware and using an account on the server.
At the time that Mrs. Clinton was there. Okay, thank you for establishing those facts for us. We appreciate that. And BlackBerries, we know that there was preferences on functions and systems and going back and forth, a lot of different devices. And we also know that there was one BlackBerry that was provided from State, but they sent it with a warning that, look, all of this could be Freedom of Information Act, therefore, go in with this understanding, and so they elected to not use that BlackBerry. There were other BlackBerries used associated with the server, which we've determined. How were they obtained? Were they third-party obtained? Obviously, it wasn't through State because there was only one that we know about. Maybe there were more.
I can't speak to them being obtained by the State Department.
Okay, were they obtained through third party, or how were they obtained?
BlackBerries were typically to the best of my recollection, just obtained from the service provider AT&T, who we had account with to service those phones.
Okay, so they weren't obtained by third party like eBay, Amazon, something of
Not
that
to
nature?
my knowledge.
Okay. All right. And with that, my time has expired. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, just one